All right, happy Monday to everyone. So today we are going to talk about domain and range. We're going to start talking about domain and range this week. So today we're going to talk about something called discrete domain and range. I'm going to tell you what discrete means in just a minute. So do not forget to go in and do your attendance check-in for today. You have to do the attendance check-in assignment in Canvas in order to not be counted absent. So make sure you are doing those attendance check-ins, okay? So let me minimize this and let's head on over to Canvas now. So the easiest way to find the attendance check-in assignment, again, is going to be by clicking this button right here, Daily Attendance Check-in. When you do that, the attendance check-in is going to be the very first thing on the screen up here. So don't forget that. So if you are an online regular, if you normally are an Aurora at home learner, you have to do the attendance check-in. If you are an on-campus learner this week, you need to keep doing these attendance check-ins, and we're going to keep doing them when we return to school too. So every single person in my class needs to do that attendance check-in. Okay, so after you complete the attendance check-in, you can click on modules again, and then just scroll to the bottom of the page. So we're going to start with doing this discrete domain and range activity right here. So we're going to, this is our notes, but I'm going to have you guys turn it in since we're not going to work in our journals much this week. We're just going to do everything as our notes as an assignment. So we're going to try and use Cami again. Hopefully it works out well for us this week, and we don't have any Google Drives that are crashing or anything. So you are going to have to click this button right here, load discrete domain and range in a new window, and it should pop up this assignment. It should pop it up just like this, okay? So, and the cool thing about this is you can zoom in if you need to by clicking this zoom in button right here. Oops, I just wrote on it. I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, you can click that to zoom in if you need to. And you should have a bar at the bottom that you can move around and get to where you need to go. So I'm going to zoom out for right now. So we want to talk about domain and range for discrete relations right now. So we're going to talk about discrete and we're going to talk about continuous. So for today, I want you to understand that discrete means that it can be counted. Okay, so in real life data, when we collect data, let's say we're going to collect we're going to go around and we're going to count how many people are in each classroom in the high school. Okay, we're going to go to each room, we're going to count. That's collecting data. We're collecting the number of students in each classroom. Well, those are going to be whole numbers. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many people are in a room, right? We would never say we had 1.5 students in this room or 1.5 people. That makes absolutely no sense. So number of people, that's an example of something that's discrete. Now, on the other hand, tomorrow we're going to talk about, it's pink here. So we're talking about what does discrete mean? So discrete are things that can be counted. They're like whole numbers, integers sometimes, but we can count. If I said how many Skittles are in my hand right now, you could count them. 1, 2. I'm not going to have 1 and 1/3 Skittles. All right. If I'm going to eat a Skittle, I'm going to eat a whole one because they're really tiny. Who wants to eat 2/3 of a Skittle? No, I want to eat the whole Skittle. So something like that can be counted, that's discrete. Now, continuous, on the other hand, usually has to be measured. So we could think of the amount of liquid of water in a glass. Well, couldn't we have 10.35 ounces? Yeah, we could. We don't just measure liquid in whole numbers, 1 ounce. If you take a sip, you're not necessarily just taking 1 ounce of a sip, or you could take a part of an ounce. Height's another one that is continuous data. There's a range of numbers you can be 5 feet and 3.56 inches. That's an amount. We don't just grow 5 inches and then jump to the next. Oh, you've grown. The next time you grow a whole inch, 6 inches. Okay. So continuous data usually has to be measured, but discrete data, it can be counted, and usually in whole numbers we can count them, or it's a value that I can look and say, okay, it's this value right here. It's not going to be anything in between that value. All right. So our relations today that we're looking at, they're all discrete. They're values. I can say this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So hopefully we're going to see examples of that. Now, to begin with, let's remind ourselves, and we have defined this, but I want to define it again. What is domain and range? So we're talking about domain and range. So domain is, it's going to be all X values, all your possible X values. That's what domain is. Your range is going to be all your possible Y values. Okay, so now you should have this same assignment open here, and you can pause and find it. It's at the very bottom of the modules page, and it says the discrete domain and range. And remember, this is the drawing tool on the side over here. You just click this little paintbrush, and you can choose your color if you want to. You click the color palette. There's tons of colors here. Look at all these colors. I might go with blue here. So you can pick any color you want, and then you're gonna write with your mouse. Okay. If you have an iPad at home, you can open it on the iPad using the app, and it opens really nicely, and you could use a stylus or your finger, or you could try to do it on your phone as well. The screen on your phone is kind of small, so it does kind of make it hard, but you can use your finger and you can write on the screen that way. But your mouse on your Chromebook will be just fine, because all we're going to be doing here is listing out some values. So if domain is all of our X values and range is all of our Y values, well, let's look at number 1. So for number 1, right here, I have a list of ordered pairs, right? And I remember that my ordered pairs are in the form, and you don't have to write this, but they're in the form X comma Y. So if I want to find, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, so I have to write. So for number 1, if I want to find, and we use these little squiggly brackets to list out our values here. If I want to find the domain, well, I need all the X values. So what are my X values? Well, the first one I see is -1. The next one I see is 4. The next one I see is 2. And then I see a 0. And then I see a -6. So my X values are always the first ones. Boom. I found my domain. So now I'm going to find my range. Well, we said the range, why is it not changing my color here, guys? I want to change my color. There we go. So I said the range was all of your Y values. So let's list them out here. I see a 2. I see a -6. I see a 3. And then I see a 2. And then I see a 7. Last one. So there's my domain for this relation, and there's my range. Done. It's as easy as that. Honestly, it is. So when you have ordered pairs, you literally are just looking to see, well, what are all your X values? What are all your Y values? The domain is your X values. Your range is your all possible Y values. So let's do another one that's ordered pairs. Okay. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to do pink for domain so y'all can see the difference. So my domain, it's going to be all of my X values. I have 0. I see a 3. I see a 4. I see a 1. And then I see a -3. Oh, that's supposed to be a -3. That got away from me there. Boom. There it is. There's my domain. Now let's find the range. So curly brackets again. Well, and if you want to type these with the text tool, you can. If you want to type, you're going to click here, and then you'll click on the page and it'll put a text box there. I don't mind if you type them either. And you have this little curly bracket. There are brackets on your keyboard too. So I see whoops, let me go back to my drawing tool here. I see a 4. That's the first Y value that I see. I see a -4. Okay. I see 0, 3, and -1. There's my range. Now, you're probably going, Ms. Robinson, is it really that easy? Yes, for discrete relations and functions, it's this easy. You're just listing out the X and the Y values for discrete. It's this easy. There's no trick about it. Discrete domain and range is really simple. Okay, so here we go. Let's do number 3. So this time they gave us our values, but they gave them to me in a table. So here I go. I'm going to do my curly brackets. So I need all of my x values. Well, I see a 1, and then I see 2 right here. I see 3. I see a 4. Oh, and then I see a 3 again right here. But haven't I already listed 3 up here? So here's the thing. I don't have to list it again. I just want all possible ones. Well, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's my only possibilities for x values, right? So you do not need to list them again. Only list them once. So let's find our range. Here we go. I have a 5. Got that one. I see 6. Got that one. Oh, 5 again, but I've already listed it here. 6, I've already listed that, and now I have a 7. Done. 5, 6, 7. That's my only possibilities for y values there. Okay, simple, right? Not hard. So here we go. Let's do our domain again. Remember, your domain is your x values. That you have to keep those straight. Domain is x, range is y. And in just a minute, I'll show you a trick on how I also like to remember which one is which. So for our domain, we're looking for our x values here. I have -3. I have -1. I have 1. I have a 3 and a 5. All right, let's do our range. Here we go. I have a 9. I see 1. I see 1 again. I don't have to list it again. I have a 9. I don't have to list it again. And I have 25. Now, they probably will list them in order on answer choices on a test. This is a completely fine answer, 9, 1, 25. You could also write this 1, 9, and write them in order from least to greatest. They do that sometimes. These are the same thing, honestly. I'll take either answer, but on a test, they are going to list them in order. So keep that in mind, okay? Whoops, let me scroll down. Okay, so on mappings, the cool thing about a mapping is when we have mappings, they don't ever list them. They don't double them. That's the thing about mappings. They only list the values once, and the arrows tell you if it's used more than once. So on a mapping, you literally just remember this is your x side for mappings, and for this is your y side. Okay, so that's what you have to remember for mapping. So my x's are going to be -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then for my range, that's my y values. I have 0, 1, 4, and 9. Okay, are y'all getting sick of this yet? Or like, Miss Robinson, come on. This is so easy. It should be. Mappings are super easy. I like them because they don't repeat the values. So you don't have to look. So I have -3, 4, and they tend to write them in order as well. And 9. So remember, these are your x's. So now let's go do our y values here. Well, I've got 4, 5, 8, and 10. So you just found the domain and range for a discrete, because they're counted, they're all individual amounts for our discrete values. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here on these graphs because graphs are the trickiest because we just have to pay attention to what's happening here. Okay, so the first thing I would do if you're not good with ordered pairs, when we're trying to find the domain and range, now this is discrete because see how we have dot, 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 dot. I can count my points here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes it discrete. If you can count your points on your graph, it's discrete. Okay. So the first thing I like to do is I like to actually write out. I'm going to zoom in some more for this, and you may need to zoom in too. That's cool. Scroll down on me here. I'm on my iPad, so it's a little finicky. Let me see if I can get it to work this way. Oopsie, it's not wanting to. It's making me right here. Okay, I like to actually list out the coordinates for each ordered pair. I like to write them out, okay? So I'm going to count for this dot right here, this point. I'm at 1, 2, 3, -3. Let me make my pen a little bit thinner here. I think that'll help me. Let me erase that. It's kind of small. Okay, so you don't have to actually list these out if you don't want to. If you're good at finding coordinates Awesome. You don't have to list them out. So I'm at -3, and now I need my y value. 1, 2, 3, 4. -3, 4. So for my next point down here, I'm going to list out the ordered pairs again. This dot right here, I'm at 1, 2, so that's -2 because I went left. Remember, this is x, this is y. This is the positive side, this is negative. This is negative, this is positive up here. So for this point right here, now my y value is down 1. So it's -1. So you have to make sure you list the coordinates of your points correctly. But if you can just look at them and tell the coordinates, then go for it. So for this point over here, I'm going to do this one up here now. I see that my x value is 1, 2. So I go up 2 to 2. And then I have to go up to 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's the coordinates of that point. So now let me find the coordinates of this point here. Well, I see I'm at +2, and then I don't go up or down any. It's 0. So for this point here, I see that I have the coordinate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go over 5 on my x, and I go down -2. Okay, so now that you have all of your points listed out, it's going to be a snap to list our domain and range. So let me come back to my pink here. So my domain is all my x values. So I'm looking at all my points. I see I have a -3 for an x value. I have a -2 for the x value. I see 2 times, but I'm only going to write it once, and 5. That's all possible x values. That's my domain. Now for my range, I have, let's see here. I see a 4. I usually like to go from the bottom up because that does list them in order. So I see I have a -2. I have a -1. Then I'm seeing a 0. Then I'm seeing a 4, and I see a 4 again. So I only have to list the 4 one time. Okay? Snap. Easy. Let's do our other one here. So this graph is also discrete because I can see here, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4. I can count my points. If you can count your points, it's discrete. I only have 5. So let's list out our ordered pairs here. So this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. -4, comma, and I got to go down 1, 2, 3. So it must be -3. So for this point over here, my coordinates are, well, I don't go any left or right, so that's 0. And I go up 2. For this point here, I go over 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I go over 1 and I go up 4. For this point over here, I go over 1, 2, 3, and I don't go up or down any, so that's 0 for my y. And then for this point here, 1, 2, so I go over 2, and then I go 1, 2, I go down 3, so that's a -3. So now let's list out our domain and range. Once we have written our ordered pairs, it's actually pretty easy to list your domain because now we just look. Okay, so I'm going to go left to right here. I'm going to do smallest to largest for my x's. I see I have -4. And then what's the next one for my x? Well, I've got a 0, okay. And then I see I've got a 1 for my x, and I got a 2 for my x, and then I've got a 3. That's my domain. Now my range, oops, I'm going to do that in a different color like I have been. So for my range here, here's my thing. Collapse that. I'm going to go bottom to top this time. So for my range, I'm seeing I've got 2 -3 values. Okay. And then I've got a 0 for a y value. And my next y value is 2. And then my last one is a 4. Okay, that's it. There's our domain and range for all of them. Let me zoom out so we can maybe see our whole page here. So that is it. That is how you find domain and range for discrete. It's very simple for discrete. You literally are listing out all your x values, all possible ones, and then all possible y values. Remember, if they repeat, you don't need to repeat them. So now what I would like for you to do is if you are on, go back to Canvas now. Now remember, when you finish this, you need to hit, see this little tiny, I don't think I can write on it up here, but see up here, this little tiny submit button right here? That's what you need to click to turn it in. So don't forget to do that. That little save icon where it says submit. Click that, it'll turn it in. To be an easy 100. So, oh, hang on just a second. Let me unlock this so I can show you guys, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're back. So if you are on this page still with your discrete domain and range, you should be able just to go straight back to Canvas and hit the next button. And then there's a quick check. It's a quiz, but it's not going to be like an actual quiz grade. It's just a daily grade. But you can say, take the quiz. You'll open it here, thinking about it. And it's just 4 questions. But what I want you to do is go through first, find your domain and range. So you may need a piece of paper. You might want to write out the coordinates and then select which one is the domain and then select which one is the range. So you're going to select domain and range for each one of them. Then when you do that, after that, it's going to put the same picture and it's going to say, is this a function? So remember, for graphs, is it a function? It's a function if it passes the vertical line disk. So run your pencil across the screen and see, does your pencil cross 2 points at one time? If it hits 2 points at once, if it's straight up and down your pencil, it's not a function. So, and then here's another one, order pairs. So there's one example from every one of the notes that we did, all the different types, from list of ordered pairs, a table, mapping, and a graph. You're going to click which one's the domain, which one's the range. That's what you're going to do. And then the next thing it's going to say, is that one a function? So remember, functions are every x can only have one y pair. So no cheating x's. So for your tables, your mappings, your ordered pairs, you want to say, do I have any cheating x's? Are any of my x's paired with 2 y's, 2 different y's? If so, it's not a function. Okay, so complete that little quick check. Let me see where you are. And everybody should make 100 on this, right? It's easy. It's a snap. List out all your possible x values. List out all possible y values. Email me if you have any questions, okay? Or join my office hours from 10:30 to 12.